What's up, people? It's your boy Ultimate Shinobi. Today, I'm going to, talk about DaVinci Resolve. I'm very sure you've actually come to the conclusion that DaVinci Resolve is the best for you. Yeah, it's a good choice. So, my goal right now is to make you a very good and okay user of DaVinci Resolve. And at the end of our tutorial series and everything, you definitely be a DaVinci Resolve pro, and you'll be able to even do very advanced editing with DaVinci Resolve. So the first thing you want to do is head over to the Blackmagic website and download the latest version of DaVinci Resolve. I am going to link that below. You can go there and download the latest version. So immediately you install DaVinci Resolve, the first thing you're going to be greeted with is going to be this page right here. On this page, what you want to do is create a new project. So you can name your project anything you want. In this project now, we're going to name it Resolve. So when you do this, you just want to click on create, and immediately you do that, you'll be greeted by this page. So this page, if you notice on DaVinci Resolve, there are quite a number of icons down here on the screen, and these icons can be a bit overwhelming, but do not worry. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to do your basic edit, even up to mid style editing, in just 10 minutes. So the first thing you notice right here is that this icon right here, this first one is the media icon, and here is where you can actually navigate to different files. On your PC, you can navigate to different folders. You can actually create masters and all those things. The second one is going to be the editing, the trimming tool right here. But honestly, for everyone, for most people, 80 to 85% of your work is going to be on the third dashboard right here, which is also the edit dashboard. So the next dashboard after that is going to be the fusion dashboard. Here is where you do transitions from scratch. If you want to create a new transitions from scratch and all this stuff, here is where you do that. Then the next tab after that is going to be the color grading tab. This is where you do color corrections, especially for most people that shoot in raw format. This is where you want to like do your color grading. So the next tool is going to be the Fairlight. So this is where you do a lot of audio editing. There are a lot of audio editing tools here, so you can really do advanced stuff here. But like I said, for most people, the edit tab is where most of their work is going to happen. The last dashboard here is the deliver dashboard or the export dashboard. What you do in this dashboard is basically just change a couple of things before you do your final export. You can change your clip name, you can change your clip resolution, you can change the format and all those stuff. But yeah, so this edit is going to be the main dashboard where most of our work is going to be done. Here, the first thing you're going to do when you get to the edit dashboard here is to click on the cog icon right here, which is the project settings. When you click that, the first thing you want to change is going to be the timeline resolution. For most people like myself and a lot of other people, they want to be in 1920 by 1080. This is going to be perfect for your YouTube videos, for high format, good resolution videos. But if you shoot in 4K or anything above, then you want to go and select the 3840 by 2160 Ultra HD. But like I said, for a lot of people, including myself, 1920 by 1080 is where we are going to be doing our edits on. Another thing again is if you want to shoot you want to edit videos that are meant for platforms like Instagram, TikTok, X, then you want to check the use vertical resolution here. But for this particular project, I do not wish to shoot a vertical video, so we are going to leave that unchecked. So the next thing you want to edit right here is going to be the timeline frame rate. If you know what frame rate you are recording your video in, is it 24, is it 30, is it 60, then you can select it. But if you are unsure, you are not sure what the video frame rate is, you can just put it on 30. So the next thing we want to check right here is going to be the under optimized media and render cache right here. You want to go to the proxy media format. Default is going to be DNX HRHQS, but I want you to put this on H.264. This is going to be the very good range. Is going to give you not too bulky video and very good resolution. So the rest you can just leave it as it is, and then you click on save, and you start your project. So there are a lot of things we want to talk about here. The first thing you do after project settings is going to be importation of your media. There are a number of ways you can import medias on DaVinci Resolve. One of such ways is to go under file and click on import, and then you go to import media, right? Another way you can do it is to click on your media pool, and then you right click your mouse under media pool, and then you see import media. So if you click on that, it's going to show you quite a number of windows, and under these windows you basically just bring in your videos. So I'm going to do something like that now. Another ways you can actually import a media is to simply click on Ctrl+I. When you click on Ctrl+I, it's going to pop out the window where you're able to navigate to different folders on your PC, and then you can select any video you wish to work on. So when you do that, it's going to bring this pop-up where it tells you that the clip has a different frame rate. Then you want to click on change. Basically what that means is that like the clip you're bringing in is probably just different from what you selected on your timeline, and then it's just going to change that. That is what you want to do. So when you do that, there are a couple of things that might not be obvious yet. If you drag this file onto this first preview window, it's basically for you to see what file is what and all those things. And then when you drag that file on your timeline, the second preview window is to see what edit and what is playing on your timeline like this. But in order to not make your workflow very clunky, in order to give you more space, in order to make the work a little way more smoother and professional, I will always tell people to change this to the single window pane to focus on your timeline, because your timeline is where the work is at. You do not want the dual pane, because why? It's just going to take a lot of space. It's going to prevent you from actually using the law of landscape that is available for use right here. So when you do that, another thing you need to do immediately when you do that is probably just click on your inspector. So your inspector is going to give you way much more room to play with your video. It gives you the tab where you can actually play with the audio as well. So in case you select the audio, it's going to show up here. In case you select the video, it's going to show you things you can do. It will give you the opportunity to like zoom in your videos, all these things. You can actually add the zoom, or you can actually just as well zoom it on the timeline here, right? But if you want to like zoom into this video, you can actually increase that here by just clicking here, and it will keep zooming. And then when you want to zoom out, you can change this to 0 again, and then it's going to zoom it out. So let me change this to 0.00, and then yeah, so the video is going to zoom it out. I totally forgot the number. So in the situation like this, all you want to do is just click on Ctrl+Z, and then you undo any error or any mistake you made. So what we're going to talk about next is definitely going to be the timeline tools. These are going to be the tools you use for your edit. The first of those is going to be the selection tool right here. What this does is basically just let you select any part of your timeline, any part of your edit. You can actually use it to even trim without selecting the trim key right here. You can trim from here to here, you can trim from here to here, you can trim your audios like this. Then we are now going to talk about the next tool, which is going to be the trim tool itself. So like I said, the trim tool is just what you used earlier. You just did not have to select it to use it. So yeah, you can trim any part of your videos or audios. Something else we need to talk about before talking about something like the blade tool is going to be the link selection tool here. This is going to be important because in a situation where a video belong to an audio, then you are going to expect everything to belong to each other frame by frame. So if you do not select the link selection tool, and then you edit the video like this, and maybe delete some part of it, then you have to understand that now the video and the audio are not going to be parallel to each other anymore. Let's say after you do this, then I move this all the way back like this. So one thing you want to do though is to make sure that everything is parallel, everything is matching each other. You want to click on the link selection tool so that whatever edit you want to do is affecting all clips. So the next tool we're going to talk about is the blade tool. This is going to be very important for everyone. This is what you use to cut your clips anywhere. You can cut any size, and when you cut, you can now select part of that clip and delete as such. And another thing is that whenever you use your blade tool, do not forget to switch back to the selection tool so that you don't have so many cuts, unnecessary cuts like this in your video. We are just going to undo all this so we can have a clean looking timeline. So you can also use the cutting tool without actually selecting the blade tool. Let's say we go back to the selection tool as like this, and then we want to cut this video somewhere here, and you want to cut the audio as well. You just move this to wherever you want to cut, and then you press the Ctrl+B on the keyboard. It is going to cut at that exact place where you put your red line. So if I put this red line again somewhere here, and I press the Ctrl+B, it's going to cut that exact point as well. So the cutting tool is very important. You're going to be using it a lot. It's called the blade tool. Yeah, so but do not forget that whenever you use the blade tool, you need to go back to your selection tool so that you do not have a messed up timeline. And in a situation where you do actually make a mistake of cutting, maybe you do not want to cut or something, then you can always use Ctrl+Z to undo such cut. The next tool we are going to talk about is going to be the audio like this. When you have multiple audio like this, or you want to like edit your audio level, you want to edit what your audio is saying, the first thing you need to do is click on the mixer up here. This is going to bring this small toolbox which will give you control over your audio volume. I have one audio clip here. I have another audio clip which is audio 2. So in a situation where I want to edit the volume of audio 2, all I need to do is go to audio 2 right here and increase the volume or reduce the volume as the case might be. And the same thing applies to audio 1. I can also increase the size of the waveform so that I can actually see what is happening better. By this I can actually change, maybe I want the audio to fade in or out. I can fade it in like this. I can also fade it out right here using this small tool right here. So you can fade out, you can actually fade it in as well. So there are a lot of things you can do with your audio. There are several ways you can change your audio. You can even do audio normalization. Let's say, look at this now. Let's say there were different spikes. There were so many irregular different spikes in this audio. One thing you can do is you can select that particular audio clip, and then you right click on your mouse, and then you click on normalize audio level. When you do that, you want to click on sample pick program, and then you put this on -5. So when you put this on -5, and then you change it to independent, not relative. So when you change it to independent, you can now normalize it. So when you do that, it's going to give you very good audio level. It's going to make the audio as sweet as possible. So the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be adding music onto your timeline. The process of adding music is almost the same thing as adding video. In fact, it's exactly the same. You can actually import from here by clicking import media. You can use Ctrl+I to import your music. You navigate to wherever it is your music is. For me, I have some music inside music right here, so I'm just going to select this music, and then you can now drag this music onto your timeline here. So for me to be able to see this properly the way I want it to appear, I'm just going to like reduce this so that it can actually show properly on my timeline, and then I'm going to drag this on the timeline. So when you add this music, you also have control over the music, because you see on the timeline here I have it as audio 3. Under your mixer here, you also see the audio 3 control right here. So that is actually how to import music. You can actually reduce the volume of the music if you want it to be lower than your voice. All you need to do is change the volume level of each. The first one, this one, right, is it's actually my audio, desktop audio. Then the second one is a microphone, while the third one is music. So you have, maximum full control over the audio level and all those things. Another thing you can actually do is you can go under audio here and change the master volume of your audio. You can go to dialogue leveler, and then you try and normalize it here as well, but I prefer the normal normalization on the timeline. So yeah, this is how to add music to your file, to your project on DaVinci Resolve. Then another thing is how to add text on DaVinci Resolve. This is pretty straightforward. I would say if you go under, you click effects right here, it's going to bring out this toolbox, and under the toolbox you're going to want to select titles. When you select titles, it's going to give you all these presets, subtitles and headings. You can select any one you want. If let's say I want to add this one to my dashboard, all I need to do is just drag it up here, right? And this is going to give me, let me try and reduce this as much as possible. So you just want to drag it somewhere up here, and then you want to extend it anywhere you want. So let me increase the width. So you can actually just change it to whatever you want. Let's say I change it to reading, right? You can change the color. Let's change the color to red. Okay, you can change the size, right? So for it to show, let me shift this on here. You can change the size of it. Let's reduce the size a bit. So you can change the size, you can change the tracking to reduce the distance between the letters. You can do line spacing, you want to drag it down or up or something like that. So depending on which one you choose there is going to determine the limitation of each of them. So yeah, that is actually how to add text on DaVinci Resolve. It is very straightforward. You can add any kind of text. You can basically widen it, you can change the position, you can do all those things. So DaVinci Resolve is one of the best softwares you can use for edit. It's pretty much straightforward and pretty much packed with functions. So the next thing we're going to talk about is transitions. Transition is going to be also under effects. If you don't see this on your dashboard, that means you need to click on effects. And when you do click on effects, you want to go to video transitions. When you go to video transitions, you're going to have all these preset transitions right here. So what you need to do is find anyone you like. If you want to use this arrange or cross this or something like that, all you need to do is drag it and drop on your timeline like this. So you can put it in the middle of any video you want. You can put it in the beginning or you can put it at the end. So if you do add any of such transitions to your video, all you need to do is put it anywhere you want. Is it the beginning, is it the end, and then you are good to go. So that's why you see this transition is what is actually changing this to this arrange or something. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the different thing on the dashboard here. So this one, Fusion, is going to be where you actually create transition from scratch. So this is a different topic by itself. You need to figure this. We need to do what's called a different video entirely for this. The same thing applies to color grading. Color grading is a very deep topic. It's something that you need to really learn like properly. We have lift, we have gamma, we have gain, we have offset. Lift is going to represent your shadows, gamma is going to represent your color, etc. So color grading is a different topic on its own. The same thing goes for fairlight. If you're actually doing normal basic YouTube videos, you really do not need to mess with fairlight as such. So we are going to go to the next dashboard. The next in our dashboard, this is going to be the export tab. So when you click on the export, you are going to want to select the H.264, which is honestly way good quality, like it's going to be perfect quality. So when you select H.264, you can actually change your clip name to whatever it is you want to be. So I'm going to name it whatever I name that project. Then you browse to the location you want it saved on. So for me, I'm going to select my external hard drive. So you're just going to like save it on here, and then you're going to select the single clip. If you select on individual clip, what that does is that, like, if you have multiple cuts on your timeline like this, you have like 2-3 clips, it's going to save everything as individual clips. So you do not want that. You want a single rendering as a single clip. So we're going to select a single clip. Then under format, you're going to select QuickTime, or you can also select MP4 if you want, but QuickTime is okay. QuickTime will give you a good format and all those things. So you want to just select the the codec to be selected. Don't select the H.264. Then the resolution, you want to leave it on timeline resolution, since you did set your project resolution the other time. So but if you did not set your project settings when you first created the project, then you actually need to come here and select maybe 1920 by 1080. Then if it is vertical and you did not set it earlier, you want to select vertical resolution here as well. Then when it comes to quality, you want to leave it on best, and preset, maybe you can leave it on balance if your PC is not too powerful. But for people that have fairly powerful PC, you can actually select quality, and then you're going to want to add it to render queue. When you add it to render queue, you're going to see the job on the right top corner right here. Then you can select render all. When you do that, it's going to take a while to render, but then you are going to have your video ready to share to any platform you want, YouTube, Instagram, whatever platform it is you want. If you did gain something from this video, please do not forget to subscribe, share to friends, and turn on notifications so you can get early notifications about future videos I'm going to release. Peace. Thank you.